Bypassing email security gateways. Sounds evil, doesn't it? And it certainly can be. In this video, we'll take a look at how and when it's possible to bypass external email security gateways. We'll then demo the technique discussed by bypassing the evitable Infosec email gateway. And last, but by no means least, we'll discuss the controls you can put in place to prevent such a technique from being successful in bypassing your gateway. Let's get started. To better understand how this works, we'll take a look at normal email operations flow when using an email gateway. Let's follow how a normal email would be sent and passed through an email security gateway. While we do this, we'll take note of the different DNS records involved for the receiving domain. Our sender on the left wants to send an email to recipient@evitableinfosec.com. They open their email client, type in the recipient, write their email, and hit send. Job well done. The email client then passes that message onto the sender organization's email server, top left, and it's up to the sender email to figure out how to deliver the email. How does it do that? By looking up the MX DNS record for the recipient domain. We can see the recipient domain MX record in the top center of our diagram. MX records often contain multiple entries with different priority numbers. This allows email flow to continue even if the primary mail server is offline. Once the sender email server has found the MX record, it establishes a connection to the listed MX server using SMTP and sends the email message. In our example, the message is scanned by the gateway and then passed on to the recipient mail server, a Microsoft M365 Exchange server, or whatever it's called now. How do we bypass this? What the sending email server didn't check is the recipient's SPF DNS record. It doesn't need to check that in order to deliver the email. The SPF record states from where legitimate emails from the evitableinfosec.com domain originate. It allows other organizations to validate that emails they receive from evitableinfosec.com are not spoofed. But in this case, it also discloses the real email server behind the external mail gateway. The SPF record for our recipient domain discloses that M365 is being used, and Microsoft convention for email domains allows us to extrapolate the host address for the server as being evitableinfosec.com.mail.protection.outlook.com. Let's do a demo and see how this looks. We'll use the previous slide to get our bearings. So what we intend to do is bypass the sending email server and the email gateway. Let's take a look at how that's going to look. So our sender, that's us, is going to send an email directly to the Outlook server, completely bypassing the email gateway. Look at that, the straight line of a caffeine addict right there. Amazing. So let's get on with that. We'll bring up a command prompt, and the first thing we'll want to double check is the address that we're going to be using to connect to. So let's just do a sanity check with an NS lookup. And we'll use Google. So let's check the MX record for Evitable Infosec, the domain that we're going to be sending an email to. And we can see here, according to the MX record for evitableinfosec.com, we've got an email gateway registered to mail.evitableinfosec.com. But if we set our type to TXT, which is what SPF records are at, and we check that again, we can see that we've got an Office 365 account here. And we know from previous experiences that Microsoft uses a naming convention when it comes to their Outlook users. So we can infer from the information that we have that Evitable Infosec will use evitable-infosec-com.mail.protection.outlook.com. Let's see if we can connect to that right now directly. We'll use Telnet. And what we'll try and do is connect to evitable-infosec-com.mail.protection.outlook.com on port 25, which is in line with the Microsoft naming convention. Let's see if we can connect directly to it now. And look at that. Microsoft says hello. So let's send Microsoft an extended hello from evitablecyber.com, which is our sender domain. Outlook says hello back and begins an encrypted tunnel for us to speak on. So now we're going to tell Microsoft that we have an email from Julian@evitablecyber.com, remembering that's the sender domain we just listed before. Microsoft says, yes, absolutely. You're allowed to send an email from that address. No problem. Now we tell Microsoft who we're sending it to, which is our evitable-infosec.com email address. Microsoft says again, no problem. You can send an email there through me all day long if you want to. Now we tell it we want to send the data. Please go ahead and send your data, it says. The first thing we'll send is a subject heading. Our subject heading is going to be got past your security gateway because we are in the process of bypassing it. Next thing, let's send a little ha-ha, just like Nelson Muntz. And then to finish off our email, we put a dot and quit. There we go, all done. Has that come through? Let's take a look, and there it is, our brand new email that has completely bypassed our email security gateway. Could probably use a little bit of design help though. I'm sure we could do better than that. Nelson Muntz could probably do better than that, let's be honest. All right. Going back to our diagram here, we can see that we have bypassed our mail gateway completely, as well as our sending email server, and have sent an email directly to the recipient email server. So how can we better protect ourselves against this attack vector? Restricting our email server to only accept incoming connections from our email gateway is definitely the first step. We should also consider using an external gateway for our outbound email. That allows us to remove our real email server from both the SPF and MX records entirely. As always, you want to test and validate that your configuration changes have had the desired effect. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it just as much as I've enjoyed making it.